Welcome to Mindful Minutes with Musicians, the show where we aspire to inspire musicians and artists talking about mindfulness and what brings us through our practice to achieve greater goals.
All right. Huge welcome to everyone, and thank you for tuning in today to Mindful Minutes with Musicians. And make sure not to miss an episode. Please subscribe, click on the bell, leave all your comments below. Today's guest is Cyborg Madworks, aka Cyborg Mad at Work, aka Keith Sandiford, a reggae hall, dancehall musician, artist, songwriter. Currently has 2 independent EPs, Tired of the Negative and the self-titled Cyborg Madworks, out on all music platforms, as well as 3 singles, Kush Ina Milongs, Paper Stocks, and Trust, all independently released through DistroKid digital distributions. I knew I was gonna mess that up. It's a tongue twister. He's performed all across Canada as well as Guyana and Jamaica. He's been featured in Spliff magazine, as well as having a handful of videos on YouTube with thousands of views each. And now he's here with us today to talk about his own practice and mindfulness. So huge welcome to Cyborg Madworks.
Well, bless up.
How you doing? Thanks for coming, man.
Good
to see you. It's good to see you. First off, I guess, how have you been? How have you been doing?
Well, chilling, holding it through the times.
Yeah.
As you see, the time is serious times, writing, creating, mixing, working, just living life, taking it easy a day at a time.
Nice. Would you say that that it's been more difficult to be creative and to get that creative flow and stuff like that? Or do you think because of everything that's gone on, it's kind of giving you more chance, or more, or not chance, but more creativity, more things to think about?
For me,
yeah,
since it's been going on, it is with music, things like these. I don't think it really affects music, because music is about telling stuff. So for me,
yeah,
I haven't really been affected. I just have the same normal days. Like some days you have writer's block, you're not really creating and stuff. But otherwise, it's been a little more quiet too, because not a lot of people in and out, not a lot of people come into the studio a lot, because before I used to have people just pop up knocking the door while I'm trying to record and stuff like that. But I've been more into the creative, because it's more a thinking process. Everything that's going on, you start to think about life, you think about things. I did a lot of unreleased written stuff.
Yeah, no, I bet. Yeah, no, I guess the things that I like to kind of the pinpoint, and I noticed you mentioned writer's block. Is there anything that you kind of do when that comes about, or is there anything that kind of when that writer block happened, is there anything that you, or are you do you give it a time and come back to it, or
I jump to, usually if I come and I'm trying to do it and I notice that the vibe is not there, I will go for a walk, maybe on the block outside, or sometime I would just listen some music, maybe watch a movie. I also have my brand, so sometimes I will go into the brand and start to create some clothes and designs and stuff, video editing. And then I would either try back, or I would just end up mixing, because those are already done. Yeah. So I will pick up a song that I already did and never mixed, and then go into
kind of go back and
come
rework
back. I don't try to force it, because if you force it, you don't get the best work.
Yeah, no, that's true. You end up getting kind of a pushed version or something like that.
And you go back later and want to redo it because you're not satisfied.
And then it just stays in that not finished pile.
Yeah.
Your clothing brand, you've had that for a while now. How did that all get started, and what kind of inspired that to go?
Well, first, when I started back in some years back, I started to go to Jamaica, and there was it was a little rough time for me going there. from school, instead of being in school, because I went to college for like graphic design. And then I had some issues and I was back and forth and I never been to half of the classes and I you know
Yeah.
but then I came up with a name one time. I came over, I run my records, my music with the name. But then I seen the lion is so cool and he could be on some clothes. And then
Right.
they have the whole thing one time with the whole monkey thing and all these weird things with the brand and all that and the Walmart and all these things. So from
Yeah.
that time, I started to wear like my own brand, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That
then I
makes
went to school for business and I decided, maybe I could market because I learned a lot of things about products and stuff like that. And I look at this and I figure out it's a good product because it's so simple as a logo. And when you
yeah.
look on belts and stuff and the way they put it out, I figure I will push it to the public and see
Oh,
if
for
people
sure.
connect with it.
No, I like it. And even like the right now I feel like a lot of people want to support, local brands and local businesses rather than these big conglomerate names that these guys are making millions and billions, like, I
Yeah.
feel like it's more we're coming more to like a ground level as far as what people want to consume, you know what I mean? Like that's yeah.
Yeah, we try to give them a brand that is, connected to the music, it connected to the trends of today and stuff like that with a little cool lion with the thing, because lions are fierce and stuff too, but with the glasses and stuff, you cool him down so they know, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's in the
Right.
concrete jungle,
he's
so
he's working the work line, yeah.
yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I guess like can let I bringing it back to like the what like music and stuff like that. Can you kind of talk about like your process as far as like 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 creating these songs and stuff like that, and you're getting into like that creative state? Is there anything that you kind of do to kind of get yourself into that creative state, or do you find that it just kind of comes upon you, or like like
Yeah, it kind of comes up on me because I'm like a full-time, like I do demolition work and stuff and abatement and stuff. But even at work, if you see my Instagram, I'll be dropping styles. Like, because sometimes I'm there,
yeah
because sometimes musicians and music have a surrounding of consuming like weed and stuff to get inspiration and stuff like that. For me, I do a lot of live songs more. I don't do a lot of slack tunes. I do some dancehall tunes and stuff. I try to keep it as clean as I can and stuff. But
yeah
sometimes, anytime I'm in a happy place, I create. So like when I'm working, it's like in my mind, I guess my mind is telling itself, yo,
you're
you're
already
good.
in
You're
that
getting a paycheck at the
yeah
end of the week or something. It's like that's my weed at work. So then
yeah
sometimes I'm there and I create countless lyrics, but by the time I come home, I forgot half of
yeah
them.
you
So
haven't
unless
written
I
them
record
down.
it on the phone. But
That's cool, yeah.
yeah, but usually you'll be there. For me, I get inspired to like push to do music in like many ways. Sometimes it's just like a vibe of thinking. It could be watching a movie. Maybe people
Hmm.
send me beats and just the name of the beat is what I go with. And then I
Yeah,
listen to the beat. Sometimes a beat, soon as you put it on and you
sounds
hear like a
yeah.
melody or something, you already think that you don't have the full song, but you already know that you could put something on that. So mostly
Yeah
those are the random ways. So I guess in a nutshell, it kind of comes to me.
yeah.
Sometimes I, push to write it or something. If somebody send me a beat and there's a deadline, yeah. But otherwise than that, I just
It's when it happens, it kind of flows type
yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
And it happens every day. So
Yeah.
for me, it happens every day.
That's
Sometimes
cool.
late in the night, I'm up going.
Yeah. Do you feel like with everything that's like happened like with the pandemic and stuff like that, like were you like affected with work and stuff, and like did that affect the creative process or anything like that, or do you find like it
No,
was
No,
Yeah.
it actually gave me a chance to get more into my studio. I even invested and upgrade my studio
Nice.
because,
Yeah.
for me, the working is not, I mean, working is life, but I believe in music like deeply, probably even more than you think, right?
Yeah.
But I gotta live with reality, and reality is that the work provides more, and the work pays the bill on the thing. Because in Canada it's different, right? It's not as much out, and being in a dancehall arena is not as big in Canada, so it's still
Mm.
like a processing. That's why I have the brand and stuff beside it, because I want my thing to go like,
To be
you know,
yeah, to be seen and recognized like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But
For sure.
usually, since the pandemic and the whole thing, I don't have it, because in a lot of cases I don't believe in it too much, and never really
Yeah.
noticed anybody who's close that was affected or nothing like that. But still, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's the world, and the world is being affected. So I
Yeah.
even have
No.
songs, but it just haven't reached to the point to release yet,
Yeah.
or do that.
That's cool. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I was gonna kind of also ask, like, what would you say, like, as far as mindfulness and stuff like that, would you say that like being in a mindful state, um, and this um, like just when these inspirations and stuff come, oh, I lost you for a sec. There,
No,
all right.
sorry, yeah, somebody
Um,
trying to call me. I don't
yeah.
know the block.
um, when you're in a mindful state, do you think do you think that a mindful state is different than mindfulness, basically, like, you know what I mean? Or do you think that like mindfulness is kind of that, um like, being able to accept that, or take in that creation when it kind of hits, type thing?
To me, mindfulness is like, to me, is more like, it's like my duty, with music. So even to a certain level, like, I feel as a musician, even not being out in the way that I want to be, I feel like I have a duty to be out there, to program what I'm gonna put, to know how far I want to put it, where I want to reach, who I want to
Hmm.
connect to, who I want to inspire. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
like
always
the
have that kind of, with my mind is always pushing to the level to try kind of purposely create like
uh,
something that will stay.
yeah,
Sensitively too, not just like anything just to like blow up or something like that.
yeah, 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 like self projection
Yeah,
into and recognizing where you want to end up, kind of thing, and seeing those
yeah, and being mindful of everything around you, to be thankful for it, to notice things, to be a word, because
yeah.
sometimes we as the artists have a voice that it together, it will come together as the voice of like a group of people or a community or something like that.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And that's like the a huge way to get these kind of words out, you know what I mean, is like is the that process.
Yeah,
um
yeah.
what's the biggest, I guess, lesson that you've taken from your process as a musician, like over the years, like, um what's the kind of thing that really, I guess, hits home, as far as like, uh just being able to accept the creativity, or to be able to like, um yeah, the yeah, what's the
So
kind of thing that you've kind of, yeah.
in the process, most of the biggest things you find is that you want to make sure that the message and stuff is put together. Nowadays, a lot of songs are like, they're like the hook or a collaboration. The hook or somebody comes and say one thing, they put it together and it sounds nice together, but it seems like it's like
What? Yeah.
the rapper comes with a topic that is the same kind of area of content, but it doesn't connect to the hook of the song too good. It's just for the hype. So for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
I always pay attention to my keys and my the statements I'm making in it, you know, the message. Like, you know, I
Mm,
always try to project those more importantly. So even if it doesn't have style, the message, because I know there's people out there that listens
yeah, yeah.
and not
There's
just
yeah.
da 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 da, you know?
Yeah, no, there's one thing to have a beat that like makes you want to dance and stuff like that. But again, like if behind it they're not saying anything, then there's nothing to hear. You know what I mean? Like there's no story to be told. There's no like I feel like
Yeah. You
that's
gotta connect with your beat.
yeah.
You gotta connect with the beat. Like I learned, and I've been around big musicians, and even in times when I was coming up before I knew certain things, even though I'm still learning,
Yeah.
but before when I knew less, you find that paying attention to these things makes better because it's like as a business, the product. So from the beginning, if the beginning is good, as it go along the promotion, everything will fall in place enough to take it to where it needs to be. Because from the get-go, the product is strong. The product has quality. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure, for
And I
sure.
look at music and everything I do as like a product since I've been to that course. Before that, I never looked at it that way.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it was like it's moved from expression to actual like commodity, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, because
it's
some
something
people
that someone
cherish it, you know.
yeah,
Some
yeah,
people keep music and keep it. You go to some people house and they're like, "Oh, I have these records from like how long and nobody touch it," and do and sometimes they're in a certain mood and they sit and they listen it, and you never know.
yeah.
Sometimes, you know, because I
No,
meet people.
it's true. It's absolutely true, man.
Yeah, I meet people a lot of times that expresses that kind of love for music, where they just all have an old system with turntables and records, and they don't even play, but they just love those music and they like it the way it was produced, the way it was
Hmm.
presented, and they just cherish it and keep it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's also an attachment to time and place, I think, with music that like and that's different for every single person because obviously the time and place that you hear that song is completely different for every single person. But like there might be a song for you that you wrote that you have like this feeling or this meaning for. But if I heard it at a club or something, then I've got that club as a reference and the time and place of that club and all this kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it's like each person like these songs are able to kind of provide so much more than just just music or just like a beat, what I think like
Yeah,
you're providing like all kinds of
comfort, a thought,
yeah.
inspiration, a motivation. You
Totally.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's kind of like a an all encompassing kind of thing where it's just like you're able to get so much out of just the one thing, the one song. Or,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a lot of emotion and feeling and memories and
Or
yeah.
even sometimes you even relate to things. It's like, oh, you talking about this, talking about me. Because sometimes artists we create sometimes in a frictional way, but not necessarily frictional in 100%, just frictional to your life. Because you, the person I may not have lived, but I know people who do. So it will, but
Hmm.
more connected to people them who do. So,
Yeah.
and then we become just like the vessel that carries it. So the vessel has to carry it well. Because if I have leaks and holes everywhere in the vessel, by the time I reach
Yeah,
there, everything is leaked out.
you're not carrying the message type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Um yeah, yeah, man. That's I like that the vessel analogy, you know what I mean? Where you're holding this and it's like you got to be able to kind of like
Yeah, I'm holding it
actually
until my
encompass this.
bottom
Yeah.
drops out.
Yeah. This happens, right? Um I guess okay, so like what kind of things um would you say, as far as your mindful, like as far as your process, is there anything that you kind of use um, when you're kind of maybe away from music, or you want to get in a more mindful state? Is there anything that you kind of do in that case to kind of like get help yourself get into a mindful state? Or
More time, I watch this guy named Sadhguru. I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, like history and stuff. There's a guy named Sadhguru. He teaches about inner engineering, like about like controlling yourself, that the outside people do not really affect you from the inside. They would, you know what I mean? Like how to control your inner you, so that you could always like basically always defeat obstacles and stuff like that, or always not too bothered by life, take care of your health a little more better. So I watch into a lot of these things, and sometimes I
nice,
try to implement them into my songs. I watch a lot of history and stuff like that.
nice,
I
yeah.
like movies because I'm hoping to create a movie kind of vibe one time, because I do
Oh,
video
nice,
editing and stuff like that. But it's just
nice.
everybody I meet around, oh, they want you to be professional, this, that, all that things they're talking. Like they don't respect what you have and what you want to do it with.
Yeah, it's well, I think the process is like everyone's kind of streamlined a lot of stuff. And I think like the ability to kind of to allow that creativity is kind of lost, like there's uh there's not as much of that. Yeah, I don't think. Like I feel like a lot of like the newer things or whatever is really streamlined. So it's like, you know what I mean? Just allowing at least the mainstream, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're hearing, like just things where that, it's just not inspiring, and
Yeah.
you're not hearing anything. Whereas, like, I think, yeah, just,
Sometimes I draw
yeah.
because I could draw a little bit. So sometimes I draw. I don't do a lot of reading because I don't really like reading too much. Because, not
Mm.
necessarily for the fact of like that reading is really boring. It's like based on like watching Sadhguru and certain things, it's like you don't feel like you want the book, because the book is just another person's summary of what they think of the stuff. Even though it's great people that wrote it and stuff, it's still that
Mm-hmm.
person worked to get that information, like to research it, do whatever and get it. So I have to understand life in my own way. So more
Mm-hmm.
time I just read life as my book.
And
Sometimes
you,
I would just
yeah.
sit there and hold a meditation, like on a Sunday or something. I would just light some incense and I would just clean my whole place and play like some music that has no voice or nothing like that. And you know,
Yeah. It's like the like a resurface or something like that, or a
yeah,
re
change around my place. When people
yeah.
come there, like, hey, you change around. Like, yeah, because energy. Because the music, everything has energy. People just
Yeah.
look at voice and the body and the beat, but it also has to do with like energy. Because if you notice, there's so much artists in the world, right? And there could be some great ones that has never come out,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not connecting because maybe spiritually people do not connect to their music. Because you could sing it, and even if you sing certain things, your soul, your spirit, it goes with the message too. So if your spirit is not authentic to the message, chances are
You're
that
not,
people
yeah.
won't really feel it as much. It will be lyrical, it will be nicely created and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't tingle people. It doesn't get in there,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's
That's
this
why the
the
keys and the sounds and the way you write and you deliver it and all of that, that matters. To
yeah.
pay attention to all of that.
Yeah. The details, right? The
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. Yeah. And it's in the connection too. I find that's cool. Yeah. Um, I guess the last kind of question I'm gonna ask is and it's a bigger one, is like what is mindfulness to you? How would you like say what mindfulness is, as far as like you know
Well, though, from my knowledge of what mindfulness is and how I grow to it is just basically on like just being conscious and just being like strategic about how you live and how you think, and you know what I mean? To me, that's how I look at
Yeah.
mindfulness, you know, being like thinking of others, thinking of like not just you as a person, thinking of like the world as a thing that, like I said, doing music. When I do the music, I don't want to just do songs about me. I want to be mindful of the things that are happening, to think in my mind that, you know, like there's
Again,
people
with
out
that
there.
connection, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So more time, to me, it's just a matter of being sensitive to the world, being knowing thing. You're artist, you're doing good, community. Like, you know, it's always about looking out for just more than you, especially if you're in a good place, you know?
Yeah. No, for
To
sure. For
me,
sure.
like
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe it means more, but to me, that's,
Yeah.
you know?
Even like awareness and
Yeah. Like
conscious.
awareness, consciousness,
Yeah.
things like that. Knowing, because when you're in those certain states, then the better you know you is the more you could like relate and take care of and care for others, because you know what it means to actually care, instead of you just do it for like a show, but in yourself you don't even care about yourself or nothing like that. You're just doing it like a, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's like if your own cup is not filled, you can't fill other people's cup. You know, like
Yeah, you could fill it, but the water will just be dirty water.
yeah, it'll just be the remnants, a few drips. You know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the source of the water is not clean. So
Yeah. No, it's true. Uh, all right. I'm gonna end there. I'm gonna throw the outro music on, and I appreciate you, hey, chatting and sharing your creative process and all the rest of that with me. I really appreciate
yeah,
that.
man, I give thanks to the invite. It's been a long time. We keep missing, but
I
we're here.
know, man. I know. It's but it's good. I like this worked out, and I really appreciate it. So
Yeah,
I'm
man, I
gonna hit
give
this.
thanks.
I'm gonna hit the outro. Get that.
Thank you for tuning in to Mindful Minutes with Musicians. For more information about my guest and the topics of the show, go to blackmoremedia.ca and connect with us on all social media platforms. Welcome to the MMWM family, where we aspire to inspire. See you soon.
That's right. And thank you again, Keith, for joining me and hanging out and chatting. And I think, people are going to get some great stuff from this. So thank you.
Yeah, man, I give thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Man.